This is a setup demonstration for the Vaporesso Gen Nano kit. In the box, in addition to the device and tank itself, you will find a replacement glass in case the bubble glass breaks, a spare coil that will be a little bit different than the coil that comes pre-installed in the tank, an instruction manual and warranty card, as well as a micro USB cable for recharging. Let's take a look at the GTX tank, which is the tank that comes included with this kit. When we remove the tank from the device and take a look at it, you'll notice you have an airflow adjustment ring along the bottom that you can turn to restrict or open up the airflow setting on the tank. At the very top, we have a 510 mouthpiece that is removable and replaceable. To open up the tank to refill it, you go ahead and grab onto the top cap here. There is significant knurling on it to help you grab hold of it, and unscrew that from the rest of the tank. And all you have to do to fill the tank up is put your nozzle of your bottle of liquid in here between the center chimney and the glass section and squeeze to fill. You do want to only allow the liquid to go up to around the top of this bubble of the glass right here. If you overfill it beyond that, when you go to screw the tank section on, you can have a little bit of overflowing. Once you've filled up your tank, you can go ahead and screw the top cap back into place. You do want to be cautious that you don't accidentally cross-thread that, however, that will make it much more difficult to remove in the future. To remove and install a new coil, you'll simply have to flip the tank upside down. When you flip your tank upside down, the amount of liquid you have remaining only comes up to about here or so. You'll see these holes on the inside of the tank where the liquid would have access to the coil. So long as your liquid doesn't go up above the level of those there, you can change your coil whether or not your tank is empty. To change your coil, you'll unscrew the airflow base, similar to how you unscrewed the top cap to refill the tank. Now there's no coil currently installed in here, but let me grab a coil to demonstrate the process. You can take your coil. If you'd like to, you can manually prime your coil by applying liquid to the exposed wicking ports on the sides of the coil head until they no longer saturate any more liquid. They've absorbed all they can. Otherwise, if you don't want to do that, you can simply install the coil by taking the top of the coil head and inserting it down into the tank like so. And then close it back up. And if you haven't manually primed your coil, you'll go ahead and fill your tank and give it about 5 to 10 minutes to let that wicking material saturate before you start to use the device. When we take a look at the device itself, on the very top, you'll have your 510 connection where you'd screw your tank into place. On the front face here, you have your fire button, LCD screen, up and down adjustment buttons, and your mode button. And on this side here, you have your micro USB port for charging. This device has a 2000 milliamp hour internal battery, so you can just charge it by cable. We do recommend, however, that you use a 1 amp output or less wall block for charging, just to maintain the best lifespan possible of those internal cells. Let's take a look at the screen itself and the features of this device. When you tap the fire button and the display lights up, you have certain information that will be displayed, including you have your remaining battery life percentage, as well as the resistance of the attached coil, which is currently reading 9.99 because there's no coil attached. And beneath that, you'll have your puff counter, which will display the number of puffs you've taken since the last time it was cleared. In the center, you'll have the current output setting that you have your setting at. And then on the left side, you'll have on the top what mode you're currently in. This is currently in eco mode, which is better for overall per charge battery life, but it does cause the device to hit a little bit more weakly than it otherwise would. And then beneath that, you'll have the display of what the device recommends your wattage output for the coil that you have installed. There's currently nothing displayed there because there is no tank or coil attached at the moment. To change between your wattage settings to increase or decrease the current wattage output, you'll utilize the plus and minus buttons. If you just press the button once, it will increase or decrease in 0.5 watt increments. If you press and hold, it will scroll and increase in full watt increments more quickly, like so. To change the mode of operation, for example, this is currently in eco mode. If we want to put it in the regular pulse mode, you'd go ahead and press and hold the mode button until it brings up these options. This is currently showing power eco mode, but if I want to scroll between those, I can use the plus and minus buttons. It also has temperature control and DIY modes, neither of which would really be applicable to the coils that come with this tank, but for advanced users who do prefer those types of coils, those options are available with this device. In the system settings, you can enter that, and it allows you to adjust your smart variable wattage, which is where it reads the resistance of the coil and gives you the recommendation of the wattage. You can adjust you can turn on or off the auto eco mode, which comes on out of the box. Auto eco mode makes it so that even in the pulse mode setting, it will, at 40% battery life, drop into eco mode to preserve the best maximum battery life per charge. You can also reset your puff counter and do various other things like adjust the brightness of the screen, all in this settings menu. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom where it says exit and tap the mode button to exit the settings there. If we re-enter the mode functionality, we can scroll backwards from the eco mode to pulse mode and tap the mode button to now have the device be set into the pulse mode, which is going to operate with a nice, strong, robust hit until it gets down to that 40%, because it does have the auto eco mode at 40% engaged. The two coils that come with this device are going to be a little bit different from one another, as I mentioned earlier when we were discussing the tank itself. The coil that comes pre-installed is a 0.2 ohm mesh coil that's rated for 45 to 60 watts, and the backup coil, which is the one that I was using for demonstration purposes when we were talking about the tank, is a 0.6 ohm mesh coil that's rated for 20 to 30 watts. So overall, the wattage range options with this tank cover quite a range of options. Replacement coils are available individually or by the 5-pack. That's about everything you need to know for the Vaporesso Gen Nano mod setup. Happy vaping!